Hello, and welcome back to episode 4 of Pillars of Eternity. Now, I'm trying to remember the last thing that happened, because it's been a few days since the last episode. So, here we are here in the Black Hound Inn of Gilded Vale, I believe. We are Odyssey, the spirit-shifting bear, the druid. Oh, I can level up. Let's do that right now, while I try and regather my bearings. So, what level are we now? We're level 3. Okay, cool. I think that means we might be unlocking some new spells now, which is going to be very interesting. But in the meantime, what do we need? What kinds of things are we going to be looking for? Athletics are always good. Stop us from getting fatigued so easily. We saw that we can get very easily very fatigued. Critically fatigued, I think it said. In the last episode, last episode. So we want to avoid that. So let's put a few points on that. And then maybe one on lore and one on stealth. Again, just kind of beefing up all of them at once. I think that's probably a good way to go. There we go. Look, we've got, I think every couple of levels we get class unlocks, and all the other times we get new talents. So, yes, it's going to be very interesting looking at all of this. These are level 2 spells, much more powerful spells. But I think we can use fewer of them between rests. So we'll have to have a look at them. In the meantime, the last thing that happened was I had a weird dream, didn't I? What's this? While exploring the Valewood wilderness, I happened upon a small cave where a great... Oh, right, yeah. Find the man. Yes, okay, so he was betrayed. So we have to find that guy, whatever his name was. But yeah, visions and whispers. Find the dwarf woman from the dream who was hanging from the tree at the center of Gilded Vale. So let's go and do that right now. I remember there is what's his name? The elven wizard who's standing just outside this inn, who wants us to take him along on our journey. Aloth, that's his name. Yeah, I still don't think I'd like to travel with you. Not yet, anyway. Maybe some other time we'll come back and we'll learn Aloth's story, because I'm sure he has a lot to offer. It's just that I am a spellcaster, so, you know, I don't really want to have both of us along at the same time, not when we're low levels. Ooh, look at that. Caldara de Baranzi. Scattered between the roots of bracelet and twine and bead, are bracelets of twine and bead, wilting flowers and notes half erased by the rains. Okay, well let's go talk to Caldara then, shall we? The squat, distended body of an elderly dwarf woman dangles from a thin, crooked bow. Bow that sags at the tug of her noose. The bloated purple flesh of her neck, worn away in patches like moth-eaten linen, bulges over the rope that suspends her, and her lifeless head lolls forward rigidly from one side to the other when the breeze shifts. You perceive a faint glow around her that casts no light on its surroundings, but there is a tepid warmth to it, and you feel somehow that you could reach out and touch it, not with your hands, but with some aspect of yourself that has no worldly dimension. Well, let's reach out for the woman then. And the sky goes purple. You take a deep breath, clearing your mind, focusing on your objective. As you exhale, you feel yourself spreading out towards the hanging woman, perceiving all that lies between you and her with new, unfamiliar awareness. Once you have expanded enough to reach her, there is a sudden jolt to your mind, a ringing, electric surge of images and words and sounds. Involuntarily, you shut your eyes and you feel yourself being pulled down to some deeper consciousness, in a space occupied only by you and the hanging woman, and when you open them again, she is staring at you with eyes clouded in a milky fog, her body still swaying in a wind you no longer feel from a tree that stands planted in a misty void. The woman gives a slow nod of her head, the rope creaking as she does so, and she smiles at you.
Have you come here for me, dear? Or have you gotten lost? Ah, it is both, I think. yes?
Let's just kind of take it in our stride and say I need to understand something that's happened to me. She nods, a look of pity on her face as though consoling a child. Hey.
The world looks a little different than it used to, is that it? Feels like you're noticing things for the first time that have always been there. You have seen past the shroud. It only takes an instant. Your soul remembers, yes? Remembers how it sees when it leaves the body, like being reminded of a dream you had forgotten. You are a watcher now, and a watcher you will stay.
Okay, what's a watcher?
What indeed? Long hours have many animancers spent studying such things. Not I, though. Not I. I'll tell you what I know, though, since fair is fair, and here we are visiting, you and I, and it reminds me of better times. Souls pass on, some say through Audra stones, which are the blood veins of the world. They leave the world for a time and are reborn into it, sometimes more than they were before, but usually less and seldom the same. For all souls there is a time where they do not live, yet have not passed on. And those souls roam the world, same as you or I, either leaving or lost. But no one sees them because they have forgotten how.
Okay.
A watcher sees, though, knows what to look for. And sometimes they know a person just by looking at them, know where they've been in ages past when their bodies were other bodies. See memories even their owner can't recall. A wonder to behold when all goes well. A wonder!
Okay, what do you mean when all goes well?
Oh, nothing to be afraid of, I'm sure. It's
Sure.
just much to take in for some. Sometimes there's trouble sleeping or other difficulties.
See, I feel like there might be a few more difficulties than that. I'm not sure.
You should see old Meerwald. He could tell you much more than I. A watcher just like you. Helped many in his day. Took up in an old keep no one would claim. Not far, not far. Kadnua, beyond the Black Meadow. He will welcome the company.
Okay, beyond the Black Meadow, so I guess that's where we're going next. Let's see. How are you able to speak to me?
Is that what we're doing? Perhaps it just seems that way. Perhaps it is the easiest way for your mind to make sense of it. I think it is a very good choice.
Okay, so I am imagining this?
No, I think not. A pity that. It would be simpler. A mercy even. To not have to wander anymore, no? Alas, we are here, you and I. Wherever here may be.
Okay, so I guess she's one person that I can talk about all of these weird things that are happening to me, so let's say I think I survived a beerwick. Do you know why that would be?
Did you now, dear? My, that would be something, wouldn't it? Could be luck, could certainly be. A storm can be a careless thing.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it got its hands around your soul but couldn't pick it up. A soul can be heavy if it stayed in one piece through its time. Strong souls, we call them in the trade. Cold, I mean. Called them. Those days are all behind me now.
Okay, so you said souls break apart over time. When did she say that? I don't know. Oh, okay, fair enough. So a soul can be heavy if it stayed in one piece through its time. So does that mean souls break apart over time?
Oh, yes. Entropy. Rimagan's work. We know little of why or how. We lose pieces of ourselves when we die and pick up pieces of others when we are born again, but less than what we lost. We tried to stop it with the animantic sciences, but with little success. No.
Okay, it sounds like it would be great if we could find this Rigamand guy and learn more about this entropy.
A very small few resist Rimergan's influence and stay together through some force of defiance, at least for a time. But they all succumb eventually, I think.
Well, that's not too optimistic a spin on things.
Me? I'll bore you to tears, though.
Okay, who are you?
And here I thought you'd come to visit me in particular. Caldara de Baranzi, of the Valian Royal Academy of Animantic Sciences. Not the greatest of their number, but I came here all the same because
come on,
this
you're not
was
the...
where help was needed.
You're not the greatest of your number, really? Ugh. Could I talk to someone else in the tree? What happened to you? She laughs, a rasping, choked cackle escaping between rows of buttery yellow teeth, causing her body to bob up and down with each spasm. Seeing your blank expression, she catches herself.
Oh, come now. Such a question. As though the answer weren't plain as a rope tied for strangling. Allow an old dwarf her last bit of cheer.
Okay, a little bit freaked out.
Well, I came where I was needed, didn't I? Offered my services to Lord Radric for a pittance. A humble pittance. I was to examine the Lord's wife, see why the gods have seen fit to poison her womb. Studied her for months, looked high and low for impurities, tested her valence, the permeability of her essence. Do you know what I found?
How do you test the permeability of one's essence? I want to ask that.
Nothing at all. A healthy woman, head to toe, blessed with a beautiful soul. Such a sweet woman, too. Meek, but warm-hearted. A few months' time, and the lord of the house demanded answers. For a time, I told him what he wanted to hear. Oh, yes, my lord. She is riddled with imbalances. I must have time to cure her. As the birth drew near, he grew impatient, as lords do. And this is where I've ended up.
But the thing is, how do you know that that the gods saw fit to poison her womb? Because surely just today she gave birth, and that was the deciding thing. That was the proof. So how did they know? Why was there an animancer there in the first place? I don't know. Maybe I'm missing something. Anyway, what's an animancer?
A student of the soul. Something so basic, yet so poorly understood. But so many breakthroughs have been made in my lifetime. Had been. To hear the locals tell it, we're a gang of soul manglers that preys upon the weak-minded. And the worst of us are. But the best of us? The best? Inspirations, miracle workers. My parents were soul twins, miserable before they met, empty inside. It was an animancer who helped one find the other, turned their lives around. You wouldn't believe the stories. Amnesiacs helped to remember their lives. The suicidal brought back from the brink of oblivion. The elderly afforded extra moments to say their goodbyes. How soon we forget when we're afraid.
I quite like how they're framing this in terms of what you can do with your own character. Like you can be absolutely awful to people. You can use your watcher abilities for nothing but malicious intent, or you could be like these guys who just help people. I wonder who I'm going to be. I'm not sure quite yet.
It's a fascinating science. A fascinating time to be alive in a place like Deerwood that does not control the research, no? I love the Valian Republics for many things, but their recent caution will leave them behind, I fear.
Okay, I had other questions.
Of course, dear.
Let's go back to I want to know something about you. Oh, did I actually ask anything? Yeah, I did ask everything. Okay, fair enough. So I guess that is the end of our conversation. Farewell.
Goodbye, my dear. It was lovely visiting.
Caldara closes her eyes and her head slumps forward over the noose, and your surroundings seem to bleed into your vision from some unknown place of waiting. Odyssey was granted Crucible of the Soul. Wow, okay. An ability, I'm guessing, of some sort. Is that it? Attacks Fortitude, 1 per rest, so I can't use it often at all. The Watcher unravels the vital essence of his or her enemies, gaining endurance in the process. So it's an AoE, so you place it on the ground, and it drains burn damage as endurance, versus it gives a Fortitude check against the enemy, and plus 10 accuracy. So I place it on a load of enemies with low Fortitude, and it gives me lots of endurance while damaging them. So that's pretty cool. That's going to be a very useful ability. Okay, so we got quite a few answers from this this Animancer, dead Animancer woman. So
17.5.
Is interesting. 17.5. The smell of pipe smoke, at once earthy and sweet, winds its way into your nostrils. Your eyes trace the smoke to its origin, where you find a broad man with straw-coloured hair leaning against a mossy rock wall, his pipe held to his lips with one meaty hand. He looks you directly in the eye, but the look is not aggressive. He regards you with a peculiar smirk.
17.5. Well, could be 18, depending on how you count the dwarf woman.
Oh, you're a racist. I'm sorry?
The dwarf woman. You were trying to figure out whether to count her as a full person. I think you oughta.
What are you talking about?
The people hanging from the tree. 18 of them. Well, last I counted, anyway. Name's Adair. Though to the people around here, might as well be 19. Don't think I'd put you much higher than 22, 23 tops.
Great.
You look like the sort that likes to get involved.
Okay, so why is he 19? That's what I want to know. What's he done? What makes you think I was interested in the dwarf woman? Well, I've probably been staring at her, for one thing. He looks at you for a moment, his brow arched, his smirk broadens.
I was smoking over here, saw you staring at her. Twice I refilled my pipe. You never so much as blinked. Your mouth was so slack I took you for a Radric at first.
Wow, he's a sassy bastard, isn't he? Do you know what a Watcher is? I've been out of sorts lately. Impossible I don't drool half as much. I could be a sassy bastard as well. Or what's it to you? I mean, the first interaction we have of this guy is him being mildly racist towards a dwarf woman, so I'm not warming to him yet at all. Do you know what a Watcher is?
Careful, friend. Best not use that word round here. Could be any number of Radric bootlickers within earshot. Ciphers, Animancers, Watchers. Same thing in the eyes of folks around here, Radric especially. They come through these parts all the time with their cures, preying on the desperate. None of them are who they claim to be.
Okay. But I am, and it sounds like... Hold on a second, you were just like... Could be any number of Radric bootlickers within earshot, and then he goes on to say that they're all fake.
Of course, seeing you with that funny look, I'd be halfway inclined to believe you were having some kind of communion with that dwarf. Either case, maybe I'm not 19 after all. No offense.
Don't be so sure, aggressive. What's that supposed to mean? You think you're going to be hanged, none taken. Let's be stoic, none taken. Good, they don't mean it personal when they hang folks here. I have to remind myself.
The town's had it in for me for a long time now. Only fellow who ever stuck up for me, well, he's number 18 up there. My headman on the farm. Used to be my captain during the war.
The war? Saints' War. Only one in my lifetime. Fella decides he's the living incarnation of Aethys, overthrows Raedceris, marches on Deerwood. So we gave him a Deerwood and hello. What's a Deerwood and hello?
We blew him up.
He smiles at this, but it is the smile of one recounting a joke for effect rather than enjoyment. Okay, who is Aethys? God of rebirth and redemption, formally anyhow. Maybe they call him something different where you're from. Okay, I had other questions. I got time. Why was your headman hanged, then? Got involved. Okay, great. Radric sent men down here the other day. Said they had it on good authority someone in town was working with Kolsk, plotting Redric's overthrow. Said if he didn't come forward right then and there, they'd hang every last one of us. Kolsk, okay, let's remember that name. No one was coming forward, so Swithin, that's my headman, he steps up and says it's him. They took him at his word. Okay, wow. Would you really do that? He sighs and shakes his head, his eyes fixed on the tree. Bound to happen sooner or later. If not for plotting against Radric, then for protecting me. Fair enough. Who's Kolsk? Someone who got tired of all the hangings. He's on the run now. Probably will be till they catch him. Okay, and what does your town have against you?
Picked the wrong god. That's what it comes down to. Used to be a lot of Aethys worshippers in Gilded Vale. That mess of rocks over there, that was a temple to him, to give you some idea.
This one.
Then one day, somebody named Widewind shows up on Deerwood's doorstep. Says he's the living flesh of Aethys. Got an army with him. Suddenly, Aethys isn't so popular in these parts. My brother Woden and me, neither of us believed it. No way was that Aethys. He enlisted, then I did too. But, he didn't make it back.
So they fought against the guy who was claiming to be their god. But, Edda survived and his brother didn't.
After the war, people took to punishing Aethys worshippers, accusing them of treason.
Yep.
Got real ugly, especially after the legacy started. Folks needed someone to blame. I was safe because I fought, but then this rumor starts that my brother, that he was on the wrong side. And I wasn't so safe anymore. Until my headman stepped in and said they'd have to hang him to get to me.
Well, yeah, but then they did, and now you don't have that safety net.
Seems that's no longer a concern.
Yeah.
Of course, the townies don't do the hanging these days, but when Radric's men come, they got no problem doing the pointing.
Yeah, well, what do you expect, to be honest? It's just fear and stimulus, as is said in. Was that Batman said in there? I'm not sure. Fear and stimulus. I think so. Anyway, this all seems very grounded in actual historical fact, which is something that I believe has been said by the lead designer. They've gone back into lots of different historical events of import, and they've drawn inspiration from a lot of them. If you're next to be hanged, what are you still doing here? He gives a half smile. Drinking, mostly. Point of fact, I'm on my way out. Just haven't figured where I'm going yet. Not a whole lot of places out there that don't think Widewind's legacy started with Widewind. Okay. We could travel together. Or farewell. If I don't say we could travel together now, would I be able to come back again, like with Aloth? Because I don't know. I mean, like, I'm pretty sure this guy, looking at him with his chainmail and everything, he's probably more like a melee fighter, not a wizard. He really doesn't strike me as a wizard. So, I mean, that would complement my hero at the moment, my character, but at the same time, this guy seems like a little bit of a dick. But maybe that's just because he's it's because he's spent such a long time with everyone hating him, so he's become quite bitter and sarcastic. So maybe we'll say yes, we could travel together. Where are you headed? Someplace called Kednua. There's an old watcher there who might be able to help me.
Seem to remember hearing something about that years ago. He tamed that place. People would seek him out for all kinds of things. Troubles of the soul, questions for the departed. Of course, that was back when you didn't have to say watcher with a hush on your breath. A man such as that, there'd be things I'd want to ask him. Don't know why I never thought of it before.
Interesting. So he has a vested interest in seeing Meyerwald as well. Something kindles in Edo's eyes, and the vigor of purpose finds its way into his voice.
Not sure how I feel about setting out with a stranger, and a strange one at that. But truth be told, you might be the only one in town who wouldn't feel some relief seeing me swing from that tree.
Mm-hmm.
All right, then. Guess I'll do some sightseeing. Long as you're not the one picking the sights.
He tilts his head forward and gives you a pointed look, glancing briefly at the tree. Yes, okay. Point taken. Alright, let's get going then. You might have realized, by the way, that I've done a little bit of audio tweaking since episode 3, and hopefully the character voices are a lot louder now, because they were quite quiet before. So, yeah, hopefully that's a good decision. And now we have someone on our side, and I can level him up. Let's do that right now. Okay, oh wow, he looks very different there. Doesn't have the amazing beard. Yeah, it looks like, yeah, he's a fighter. Okay, cool. So he's not a barbarian, who are really, really aggressive and damage dealing. The fighter is more defensive. So if I can find a good shield to give him, that would be great. Anyway, let's have a look. What would a fighter need above anything else? Probably athletics. So let's add a few points to athletics. Then let's add some stealth as well, because everyone needs stealth. We have 0 mechanics, which is pretty bad, but that's all right. That's fine. It's fine. I wonder if we have 0 stealth, does that mean we literally cannot go into stealth mode with that character? Or does it just mean he's really, really crap at being in stealth mode and he can get spotted from miles away? I don't know. I'm not going to try it out, though. All right, class unlocks. Okay, so class-specific, we have bonus knockdown. Grants the fighter an additional use of knockdown per encounter. Modifies knockdown uses +1. Okay, cool. So it becomes 3 per encounter instead of 2 per encounter, I believe. Melee only, speed average, affects target prone for 5 seconds versus fortitude. This was the ability that Kalisha had back when we had Kalisha. Kalisha. I wish we still had Kalisha. She was great. Okay, so that might be useful, although I think we already have 2 per encounter. That's probably enough for now. And rapid recovery boosts the fighter's hardiness, increasing the rate of his or her constant recovery. Modifies constant recovery plus 36.6 endurance over 90 seconds. Plus 3.5 endurance. What is this? I didn't know this was a thing, constant recovery. Recovery is the amount... Oh, I see, right. Recovery is the amount of time that a character spends between actions. Longer actions result in proportionally longer recovery. Armor also has a large effect on recovery. Generally, heavier armor inflicts longer recovery penalties. Okay. No, I still don't quite understand. Is this affecting my time between actions, or is this affecting some sort of endurance regen? I didn't know that endurance regenerated unless we were out of combat. I don't know. Let's have a look at the other ones. So we can tell them to focus on a specific type of weapon, like weapon focus soldier, +6 accuracy for the greatsword, the pike, the warhammer, the arbalest, and the arquebus. I don't know. What's he got at the moment? That looks like a saber. So we've got a saber here as a ruffian. I wouldn't have called him a ruffian, though. Saber, stiletto, club, pistol, blunderbuss. Hatchet, spear, quarterstaff, hunting bow, unarmed. Unarmed, that would be very useful for the monk class, definitely. They go unarmed pretty much all the time. +6 accuracy for dagger, rapier, mace, scepter, rod. Knight is battle axe, sword, morning star, and crossbow. An adventurer, poleaxe, estoc, flail, wand, and warbow. I don't know. I don't really know what kind of weapon I want to give him yet, so I think I should probably stay away from this stuff. What about defensive? Hold the line. Nah. +10 reflex, that's always good. Bears fortitude. +10 will. +6 shield deflection. Shield deflection bonuses... Hold on. Shield deflection bonus also applies to reflex. Right, so adding deflection adds to reflex as well. Did we give our guy that? I can't remember. Maybe that was in my last run through. and plus 12 defense when disengaging. I don't know, maybe weapon and shield style, because I plan on giving this guy a shield a lot of the time. So that sounds pretty good. And then utility, fast runner, Son of Flame, Heart of the Storm, Spirit of Decay, Secrets of the Rime. No, I don't want quick switch. Wound binding and field triage. That'll be really useful. Okay, it's either weapon and shield recovery, weapon and shield style, sorry, or field triage. Friendly target plus 20% health over 9 seconds, and that's 1 per rest. Let's go with a weapon and shield style. Let's do it. Okay. Oh, right, oh, okay, so I'm leveling up like all of his, I'm doing all of it at once. So let's go again. Let's add some lore, mechanics, survival, and more athletics. Fighter abilities. Defender. The fighter adopts a more conservative combat strategy, concentrating on locking down enemies that stray too close. The fighter increases his or her number of engagement targets to three, but at the expense of deflection. Plus 2 enemies engaged, minus 5 deflection. I don't want that. Or do I? I don't know. So basically, it's like a taunt. Everyone come to me. Attack me instead. But it's minus 5 deflection. Which sucks. That kind of undermines the whole thing. I don't know. Confident aim. Passive ability steadies the fighter's arm, causing a percentage of their grazes to be converted to hits, and increasing the minimum damage for melee weapons. That sounds like an awesome passive ability. Just more raw damage. Plus 20% of grazes converted to hits, plus 20% minimum damage. Okay, brilliant. Disciplined barrage. The fighter intensely focuses on his or her training, significantly raising accuracy for a short amount of time. 1 per encounter, plus 10 accuracy for 15 seconds. And Guardian Stance. The fighter devotes all his or her energy to defending allies. Lowers accuracy, but increases the deflection of nearby allies. Oh, okay. I see. So it gives plus 10 deflection to everyone, my entire party. But it gives minus 10 accuracy to himself. That's a weird ability. That doesn't seem very logical to me, but I've no doubt that'll be very useful. But I don't know, maybe I think I'm leaning towards Confident Aim. I think that's just a great passive ability. It might not be the most interesting, but let's go with it. Give him something to swing. So let's see what his abilities or his weapon sets are at the moment. Like I said, it's a saber, which does a lot of slash damage. That's a nice amount of damage for a one-handed weapon, actually. 15 to 22. Compared to the pike, which is two-handed, and that's 16 to 22. That's pretty awesome. Base 13 to 19. Base 14 to 20. Interesting. And then we've got the war bow. We've got a hunting bow, 11 to 17. Base 10 to 15. 15 to 24, base 13 to 20. This speed is average, this speed is fast. I wonder what the damage per second is for both of these, which is better. Let's swap these around for now. Let's give our ranger the more powerful bow. And let's give this guy the hunting bow as a secondary weapon. We've got a ton of stuff in the stash. I wonder what we want to give him, whether it's the saber. 15 to 22 slash damage. Slash, I'm not sure. And the shield as well. He's got plus 12 deflection and minus 4 accuracy at the moment. I could give him plus 8 deflection, which doesn't lower his accuracy in the slightest. What's this? Ooh, look. Saint's War Armor. Damage reduction of 7, recovery speed of minus 35, which could be better. But properties. Pierce proof. Hold on, yeah. Pierce proofed and second chance. Plus 3 damage reduction for pierce. And grants second chance on unconscious, 1 per rest. Which means he gets up when he should be knocked down. Once per rest, I guess. So that would be very useful. So if he's got some pretty good armor, and he's got the, what was it? There was something, oh no, it was weapon and shield, I remember. Weapon and shield style, which adds deflection. So we might actually want to give him the small shield, and he doesn't lose any accuracy. I don't know if that's a good idea, but let's try it. At least for now. We'll put this in his inventory so we can switch it around when we want. Is there any armor that we want to put on him? No. Let's give him a duelist hat. Why not? Oh my god, that looks awesome. It's red. Okay, we're keeping that. We're definitely keeping that. This guy is now a joke. Speaking of which, I could give this guy something like just a padded cap, maybe. Nah, that looks pretty stupid. What about a hood? Yeah, why not? Let's keep that. Purely aesthetic, of course. Doesn't benefit us in any way, really. But oh my god, that hat is amazing. I love it. I cannot take this guy seriously now. This fighter with his chainmail is just wearing an enormous pink hat with a feather. You ever been to Defiance Bay? I can't say I have. Have you got anything else to say? The Blackhound Inn's a fine place to sit and have a smoke. The Blackhound Inn. Okay. What is this? Labourer's resting bonus. Oh, that's because of sleeping in the inn. Okay, cool. So where are we off to now? We haven't explored all these places yet, have we? Let's go to the Black Hammer Smithery first. Let's speed up time to get there faster. Look at him go. And we are here. Black Hammer Smithery. Okay. Tuatanu appears to be the blacksmith. An account of Tuatanu's sales. The pages are nearly empty. Oh dear, so fallen on hard times then, it seems. Oh, hello, I'm just browsing. There's an apprentice over here. Don't tell Tuatanu, but I think Dunstan over in First Fires might have the edge on him. Ooh, oh dear. Ah, poor Tuatanu, even his apprentice doesn't believe in him. Dwegan Steelcaller. Okay. You see a group of adventurers surrounded by a crowd of attacking Zaurips. This man is with them, seemingly unconcerned by the battle, even detached from it, as he stands in the middle of his comrades, chanting, his expression bordering on elation. His voice is powerful and deep, booming out across the combatants as a rich counterpoint to the chaos of their fighting. So this guy is a chanter then. With every phrase, the battlefield changes. His allies glow with a pulsing blue light, freezing the Zaurips that surround them. A blazing pyre erupts from the ground, cutting and burning the creatures and sending them scattering. One of the fallen Zaurips suddenly explodes as 3 giant grubs crawl from its corpse and attack the remaining enemies. The man continues to chant, thoroughly enthralled in the joy of the moment. Finally, the creatures have been reduced to 1. His allies stand back as the man approaches it, still chanting. He removes his hammer and swings at the Zaurip. His phrase ends as the hammer connects with its head, punctuating the spell and bringing his song to an end. Nice. That's how powerful a good chanter can be. Completely decimate his allies, his enemies in battle. And Harlan Orinson, who I assume is going to be another soul to read. You see a man crouching, surreptitious and alone, a series of untamed shrubs. A series of untamed shrubs, all that hides him from the vision ahead. His eyes are locked on a Delamgan, beautiful and terrible, eyes half-lidded as she hums. A bird with fantastic blue and orange plumage sits on her shoulder, trilling gently, and the man is entranced. Trembling, tentative, he stands, and the tranquility is broken by the bird's startled squawk. The Delamgan half smiles, beckoning with twig-like fingers. She does not speak as he approaches. His mouth is dripping sounds of awe and admiration. She waits, coy and tempting, and with agonizing slowness he is before her. Then something changes. She sees something hanging limply from his side and begins to hiss, fingers suddenly claws and eyes black with hate. He has no time to reach for his axe or grimoire as she strikes, and just as soon as she strikes, she is gone, the only evidence of her existence, the shuddering wreck on the ground. He grabs at his grimoire nevertheless, and begins to chant. But the words of a magical language of his own imagining, scribbled in a maniacal shorthand, ring hollow, and the silence continues unabated. He turns and shrugs at someone or something, but if there is something there, you do not see it. Okay, that was a very weird story. Something hanging limply from his side is the grimoire, I guess? Maybe his grimoire? I don't know. So maybe that's a little tip for future times when we see Delmgans, whatever they are. They don't like grimoires or axes. I don't know. I don't know what to take from that, to be honest. That is a big bearskin. Very big bearskin. Look at that. The bellows sigh into the furnace and the coals burn brighter still. Can we take from here? Ooh. Daily affirmations of focus and efficiency. Actually, I'm going to read this. This is very short. All errors can be reforged into lessons. Abaddon rebuilt himself from ruin. No setback is insurmountable, not even death itself, so long as the soul is dedicated to the task. Work hard, work well. Abaddon demands only honest labor and forthright service. All errors can be reforged if your first intentions are pure. Number 3, all ignorance can be reforged into knowledge. Master your craft, excel at what you have been trusted to do. Do not offend your teacher by remaining a student forever. Number 4, each generation must forge its successors. Teach your trade to all who are willing to learn, and in doing so, multiply the fruits of your knowledge. Number 5, all difficulties can be reforged into triumphs. Meet strife with humility and acceptance. Let adversity temper the ingot of your will, and you will never shatter. 6, embrace your station, fulfill the duties of your rank, and meddle not in the affairs of your betters. All guilds fail at their weakest link. All loss can be reforged into strength. Profitable work heals all emptiness. So long as you have the tools of your trade, you will always be able to forge wealth anew. 8, value the works of others, and they will value your works in return. Share the harvest with the hungry and your tools with the destitute. And number 9, all souls can be reforged into whatever we will. Hard work is not exclusive to life. Death is no time for complacency. Commit yourself to excellence in this cycle and the next. Very interesting. Abaddon. If I take this, is that stealing? No, it isn't. Okay, cool. I'm just going to look at the Cyclopedia. Deities. Who's Abaddon? God of golems, machines, industry, strength, hope, and aspiration. Favored most commonly upon the laboring class, the golem is thought to have once been able to take a human-resembling form, as most of the other gods are, but then been somehow killed, only to forge himself back into existence inside the shell of an immense golem. Various accounts of his death exist, and none is considered definitive. Why is that highlighted? Ooh. Okay, fair enough. I knew what death was. But yeah, that's very interesting. Understandable why it's in a blacksmith. Let's talk to Tuatanu then. This Almao man is of an impressive build, aren't they all? Towering above the countertop. His skin is the dusky blue of the deeper oceans, and his thick arms boast corded muscle. Small ears frame a square-jawed face coated in smeared soot and black tattoos alike. Mwah, can't speak today. He offers you a broad smile as you approach. Welcome, you're the first new face I've seen in quite some time. What can I do for you? What do you have here? No, is this your shop? That it is. Been here near on 20 years now. Seen all manner of things over the years. Good luck and bad. Tuatanu glances at the guard standing watch along the wall. But the Black Hammer Smithery remains. Okay, what do you have here then? You come to us at a strange time, I'm afraid. The stock's not what it used to be, but we've fine weapons and armor to offer yet, all forged right here at the Black Hammer. What happened? We just don't have the supplies. Been expecting the next delivery for near on a week now and haven't seen a sign of it. Have to expect they were hit by bandits. The road out east is crawling with them. All my workers ran off with the wagon themselves maybe to make some coin. Tuatanu snorts, as if that lot would dare. Tuatani scratches his jaw, thinking, if you happen to be headed that way, maybe you could keep an eye out for a supply wagon. Or my shipment, at least. They'll be cutting through the Black Meadow, I expect. Only good road for it. Okay. As it is, most of our weapons go to His Grace, Lord Roderick. Roderick? Radric. Lord Roderick? Oh my god, that comes back to the Sabriel Abosen series. The Old Kingdom series, that's what it's called. Garth Nix. Anyway, Tuatani glances at the nearby guard. And that's as it should be. But it doesn't leave much for outsiders. We just don't have the iron. Okay. Where was the wagon travelling from? We send the wagon up to New Hayamar with weapons, and it swings round through Loghorn and the like to purchase supplies. Shortest route back is through the Black Meadow and then north through the wilds. Tuatano shakes his head. Had a trader come through with word they'd made it to Longholm. Oh, Longholm, is it? Not Longhorn. Longholm. But haven't heard a thing since. Okay, well, I'll find your supplies. Tuatano nods. Then you have my thanks. You bring those supplies back, and I'll have plenty more to offer you. A discount to start. Oh, and if you find my workers, tell them to hurry it up, or they can take up farming instead. Okay, cool. Well, a discount here would certainly be very useful. Although, I've always found in RPGs that you tend to find better stuff than you buy.
Greetings.
But maybe that's not the case here. Good to see you again. Afraid we're still... Well, I'm not expecting you to have changed in the next few seconds. I'd like to see your wares, nonetheless. Of course, you won't find finer anywhere else. Well, your apprentice disagrees, clearly. Wow, Jaina's Lance, or Jenna's Lance, I don't know how to say that. That is 6,000 coppers. Unique pike, two-handed. 16 to 22 pierce. Properties of increased reach of Constitution +1 reliable. What does reliable mean? Plus 20% of graces converted to hits. That's what reliable means. Look at this. Its value is 810 copper pieces, and he's selling it for 6,000 copper pieces. What a bastard. Gifted to an Orlan maid, along with a goat by a wizard master Cabrindo, who was forced to show her the door after a number of episodes in remarkable clumsiness and brash carelessness that had left his grimoire waterlogged and his laboratory in ashes. Wandering from place to place with only her goat, her pike, and a reputation for negligence that preceded her, her fortunes changed one day when she encountered a pair of soldiers trapped by a group of bandits. Too short to wield the pike properly, she instead climbed atop her goat and spurred it into the fray, leveling the pike like a lance and running one of the bandits through. Frightened and confused by the display and intimidated by Jenna's coarse language, the remaining bandits fled and the soldiers' lives were spared. Her actions earned her a commission with a local fort, and she served with distinction in the cavalry. The original experience had given her such pleasure that she always found a place at the front of any charge. Eventually this took its toll and she went missing after her unit was commanded to charge a group of trolls. You know, I love how there's so much detail put into all of these aspects of the game, and all of them have different morals and tips and tricks that you can learn from and take from. Like trolls. Trolls are a big deal, it seems, if they can take care of someone like this. So, yeah. We're gonna have to watch out for them. In any case, I certainly can't get any of these. Azaraith Stiletto. That sounds amazing. Grants Jolting Touch on critical hit, 1 per encounter. What's Jolting Touch? Shock damage. And it jumps. Jumps to 2 extra foes. That would be incredible. Unfortunately not. Let's see, Outworn Buckler. +8 deflection, +5 all defenses. That's pretty cool. Again, I can't afford it. I have like no money, so let's actually go into our stash and get rid of all of this stuff. We've got so many daggers here. We don't need these daggers. Daggers are easy to come by anyway. All of this stuff is easy to come by, so I feel like we could almost just get rid of all of it. Let's get rid of the hunting bows apart from one. And okay, well, we've got one of each. Let's keep it like that. We can sell all of these. All of those can be sold. That got me a lot of money there. Apparently the armor is a lot easier to get more money from selling than the weaponry. Look at that. Simple clothing gets you 20 coppers. That's 4 daggers. Simple clothing is worth 4 daggers. That's insane. And we can sell these as well, just for a little bit more. You can even sell these things. You can sell gold rot chew to an armorer, a blacksmith. That's a bit bizarre. Is there anything else that I could sell that would... Maybe wolf hide? Actually, no, let's keep the wolf hides. Don't know how I might use them, but they're probably going to be useful somehow. I'm definitely not selling any of these. Those are all useful for enchanting and stuff. But yeah, that's going to get me 570 copper pieces, so that's pretty awesome. You got rings here. Bronze horn figurine. 6,000. Summon animat. Animat? I have no idea what that is, but that's very interesting. Cape of Withdrawal. Plus 15 defense while disengaging. I keep looking at stuff that there's no way that I can get. Yeah, there's nothing here that I want, really. Yeah, there's nothing here I want, so let's just trade that stuff. Now we've got more money and we'll go. We'll be on our way. Alright, I'm aware that this is this has been quite a heavy dialogue and talk-based episode with no real action, but I'm trying to just get everything in this area done in one episode, and then we can go off exploring in the next episode, probably. Ooh. Oh, Nonton, that's the betrayal guy, the guy with the bear who killed hamstrung his friend and left him to die with the bear. Okay, that's interesting. First, I shall read your books as penance for what you've done. The Deerwood Part 2, The Broken Stone War. Feel free to read through. Okay, oh, that's it. Fair enough. So pause the video and read through that. Let's take that. And what's in here? Ooh. This man and woman appear to have been deep in conversation, working at closing 2 bulging satchels. They move to embrace until the woman notices your approach and pauses, her smile faltering a little.
Greetings.
Can we help you? She looks to her companion, brows furrowing with confusion. Do you know this man, Nonton? Nonton coughs. Yes, I think we met in the Valewood. I warned him about the bear. He inclines his head. Glad to see you've made it. Was there something else you wanted? You two seem to be in a hurry. You two are in good spirits for people who just lost a friend. I know what really happened in that bear cave, Nonton. You two are in good spirits for people who have just lost a friend. Oh no, that's the woman. That's unkind of you to say. I'm grieving my husband in my fashion. My husband, okay. I'm only sorry I could not convince him to leave Gilded Vale before this happened. You should be in agony right now if that was your husband. You should be so horribly depressed. I'm relieved to be rid of this terrible place, that's all. It has cost me the greater part of my life, and now my husband, and I'm glad to be free of it. You two seem to be in a hurry. Now let's just say I know what really happened in that bear cave, Nonton. The colour drains from Nonton's face. I don't know what you mean. I told you the truth of it. Are you accusing him of something? Ingrid looks to Nonton, touching his arm. If this is about the accident, we're both grieving Pearlie's loss, but it was a wild animal's doing. Yes, I believe it was. Nonton shakes his head minutely. You see a tremble in his hands. What would make you suggest such a thing? I had a vision in the cave. I saw Pearlie's last moments as he lived them. I saw you cut him with the knife. No, I don't want to say that. A vision, that's not going to mean anything to this guy. He's just going to grass me up for being a watcher or an animancer or something. I could say there's something here that I'm not able to say. I'd like to see what that was. But why did you do it? He was your friend. Let's do that. Nonton hesitates, and then his expression darkens. My friend. He was a cruel enough man to his friends. You didn't know him. You wouldn't defend him if you did. His hand falls to his sword belt. Oh dear, well he's confessing. Nonton, wait. Ingrid raises her hand. I don't know what you saw in that cave, but this isn't what you think. Pearlie, my husband, He was as much a beast as that bear. I tried to leave the first time I suffered his temper, but he wouldn't have it. She looks away, expression pained. Nonton, we met, and I knew I'd found someone special, someone kind, who cared for me. Please, all we want is to leave this place, to start somewhere else. She looks down at the satchels. We've some coins saved up. You could have it if you'll only let us go. I don't know. What should I do? Thing is, I still don't know that they're telling the truth. It could be some petty dispute. Like, they could be completely malicious. But it doesn't seem like it. So, I don't know. I could say, sounds fair. Sounds fair enough. Hand it over. Know whatever your reasons you caused a man's death. I'm taking this to the magistrate. Honest. Pearlie doesn't get a second chance. You two don't deserve one either. Attack. Oh my god. Keep the money. Use it to start your new life. Benevolent. I don't need your coin. Go, get out of my sight. I don't know. I don't know the benefits of, if I say use it to start your new life and I say keep the money, does that give me something good later on? Do I run into these guys later and they give me some sort of bonus? If I attack them, do I get their stuff? If I take them to the magistrate, does the magistrate give me a reward? I don't know. I don't think I want to get tangled up with the magistrate and the law in this area right about now. That sounds like something I really want to stay away from. So let's not do that. I don't feel like attacking these guys. They're just peasants. Keep the money, use it to start your new life. I don't need your coin. Go, get out of my sight. I want the coin. Let's just say sounds fair enough. Hand it over. Ingrid sags with relief. Thank you. Thank you. From the bottom of my heart, thank you. She fumbles through one of their bags and withdraws a heavy coin purse, which she hands to you. For your compassion. You've gained 50 copper. 50 copper? That's not much. That's probably all they have, though, to be honest. Let's go, Nonton. We've a long way ahead of us. Okay. Thank you again. We won't forget this. Fair enough. Let's steal your stuff. Oh, look. That's another... how many was that? 21 copper, so we actually gained 71 copper from them instead of 50. So that is pretty awesome. Let's just...
Keeping quiet.
Oh, look. Yes, brilliant. It just suddenly struck me that I could look around and see in scouting mode if there's anything around. Goldrot Chew, Spirits, +1 Constitution for 300 seconds. Okay, cool. Rope and Grappling Hook, and Silver Fenning. So that's another 24 on top of that. So 71 plus 24 is 95. 95 copper pieces. That is more like it. So I pretty much doubled my reward there. I should really sneak around more often. Notice more stuff. Okay, let's stop crouching and we'll go up to the windmill and then we'll probably end the episode there because it's, I believe this is going on for just about an hour. Ooh. Swainer. We know there's more grain in there, Trumbull. We won't settle for scraps while you grow fat on our crops. A muffled shouting emerges from inside the mill. The first of you drunkards comes through that door gets a shot between the eyes. Gods hear me, Swainer. I'll put you down like a dog. Come away now, lad. Come away for now, lads. But we'll be back, Trumbull, and we'll have fair prices, or by the flame we'll have a reckoning. Interesting. Investigate the feud against the grain. That's a nice name for a task. Okay, these guys have just vanished, so I guess we'll just go up to the windmill. There is something here which I can take. I don't know why I'm crouching, just in case there's something hidden around. Doesn't look like it.
Slow.
Anyway, let's see what's going on here. Ooh. Trumbull, an elven man stands before you, his relatively stocky build suggesting a life of labor. His face is pale and drawn and his eyes wide. Behind him, a younger man and woman exchange worried glances. The miller raises a club as you enter. It shakes violently in his grip. Get back if you value your life. I can't remember the voice that he started with. Hold on, I'm not here to hurt anyone, or I don't like being threatened. I'm not here to hurt anyone. I got Gilded Vale +1 from that. The miller hesitates, then lowers the club. Wait, I know you. You just came into town, right? Don't tell me Swain has already got his claws into you. Gods, that's all I need. Let's say... Who's Swainer? The dwarf. The one standing out there spreading lies among the villagers. Bastard's been here for decades and he hasn't gotten any kinder with time. The miller hesitates, then lowers the club a fraction. Who are you? Is Swainer roping foreigners into his little crusade now? You just asked that guy. My name is Odyssey. I've only just arrived in Gilded Vale. Trumbull shakes his head. You've picked a bad time to come visiting. Gilded Vale's had all its shine scraped off. Just a big dung heap now. And Swainer thinks he's king of it. They're all of them mad. Okay, what was all that ruckus outside then? Trumbull shakes his head. Where to begin? Swain has whipped them up into a froth, going on about the grain stores. Claims I've hidden away most of it. And apparently we gained 46 experience from that, I don't know why. All I do with the grain is sell it. I can't create it out of thin air, and I can't hand it out for free. I pay the farmers for the crops they bring in, and I sell what comes out of the mill. Most of it goes to the Black Hound, or on the west side of town for ale. And Swainer and his lot sure don't mind that part. Yeah, I bet. You take a look at the fields on the way into town. The crop's blighted, and most of what I'm getting from the farmers. What? And most of what I'm getting from the farmers. Oh, and most of what I'm getting from the farmers? Trumbull gestures to the sacks and containers. It's gone off. Rotted through. I can't pay top prices for blighted wheat, and I've barely got enough good grain to go around. Swain is howling after things he has no right to. Okay, maybe I ought to go have a talk with Swainer then. Sounds like a pretty clean story for a messy situation. I see I had other questions. Let's say seems like a pretty clean story for a messy situation. Trumbull frowns. It's not... He pauses. Look, Swain has always been a rotten bastard. With stores so limited, maybe I save the good stuff for people who deserve it. Alfra, for instance. She's expecting a child. Should I let her starve instead? Maybe I ought to go have a talk with Swainer then. Did the villagers know about the grain supply? Trumbull looks embarrassed. Some. The innkeeper, for instance. It's better not to worry anyone. I'll be trading for supplies soon enough. If we can just keep things calm until then, we'll be in the clear. The innkeeper? Trumbull winces. I wouldn't drink the ale, is all I'm saying. Okay. Great. Maybe I ought to go have a talk with Swainer then. The miller all but sags with relief. I'd be grateful if you did. He won't listen to me anymore, but maybe you'll have better luck. Tell him we're all having a hard time of it, and we'll all have to make some sacrifices. We'll be in your debt for it if you can convince him. Okay, great. Hold on, I wasn't finished.
Good day, stranger.
I had more questions about this whole situation. Oh, that was his voice, was it? Good day, stranger. Trumbull breathes a short laugh. What's to explain? It isn't very complicated. I can't pay top prices for blighted wheat, and I've barely got enough good grain to... Oh, okay. I've already said this stuff, so I have no more questions. Was there anything else?
Welcome.
No. Okay, fair enough. Let's actually have a look around. A rancid stench rises from this grain. It's mushy and mottled with green. Can we go up here? No, we can't. That's a shame.
Keeping quiet.
Like we're sneaking around, they're just watching us. I'm just looking to see if there's anything that we can take. Anything hidden. No, it doesn't look like it. Okay, fair enough. Can we talk to these guys? My father's a good man. He's always done right by the town. I'm sure father can explain better just what's happened here. Okay, let's go. Okay, let's quickly... Is there anywhere else we need to go? We need to go to Alfra's house and see what that's about, and also the Black Hound Inn to just speak to those guys about the mill. So let's do that very, very quickly. Go on then. We will do it all in one episode. Hello, Alfra. Hello, cat. Hello. Hi. Hi, I'm standing on you now. I can't interact with a cat. That is such a shame. I'm so disappointed.
Nice and slow.
Is there anything around that I can take? Does not look like it. And the cat is following me around, it seems. Okay, hello, Alfra. A dear wooden woman is standing in front of the fireplace, humming a quiet tune to herself, or perhaps to her unborn child, for she is clearly quite pregnant. Is she? It doesn't look like it from here. She turns her head slightly as you enter.
Gods keep you.
Gods keep you. Well, finally, I was starting to think. The woman makes a startled noise once she turns around and sees you. Oh, I'm sorry. I was expecting someone else. She gives you a cautious smile. Can I help you? Nice cat. Alfra smiles brightly. Oh, thank you. She's a sweetheart. Keeps the house clear of mice, too, I bet. I just arrived in Gilded Vale. I thought I'd get to know the locals. Were you with one of the caravans? She looks at you hopefully. Master Odemus, by any chance? I was, yes. I'm afraid the rest of the caravan was killed. That's a bit harsh. Why do you ask? You knew Edema? Why do you ask? Oh, shit. My sister Kalisha is traveling with one of the caravans. She sent a letter before she came. Said she was going to pay her way by working as a guard for the caravan master. She always was a tough one. She pauses. I don't suppose you've seen her on the road, or the caravan, perhaps. It's Master Odemus. Oh, God, no. The caravan was attacked and we escaped, but Kalisha was caught in a Beerwick. Well, that's not honest. Is it? No, that's not honest. That's a complete lie. I was with that caravan. I'm afraid the rest of the caravan was killed. Kalisha didn't make it. Sorry, no, I'll be going. Oh, I could just say sorry, no, I'll be going now. No, the caravan. Okay, well, if that's the honest one, then I guess I'll take that one. Alfra covers her mouth with a hand, eyes wide with horror. For a few moments, she can manage nothing but a strangled, voiceless gasping, her eyes brimming with tears. I told her it was a dangerous path to take. Kalisha was always so certain she could take on any danger. Alfra sniffs. Oh, my poor sister. I'm sorry, stranger. I can't believe she's gone. If only I hadn't called her here. If I hadn't written to her, she might still be alive somewhere. Alfra's face crumples and a solitary tear slides down her cheek. Why did you send for Kalisha? Kalisha mentioned that she thought you needed help. Perhaps I can provide some assistance. Quit your snivelling. How are you going to raise a child if you're this weak? Oh my god, that's cruel and wrong. Is there anything I can do? I'll leave you to your grief. Okay, number 2 then. Alfra looks at you with some surprise before dabbing at her nose with a sleeve. That's kind of you to offer, but I don't know if I could impose this on you. It's not a small favor. Alfra wipes at her eyes. I'm worried about the baby, about the legacy. I told Kalisha as much as I could, but all I know is that for a long time now, every child born in Gilded Vale has been soulless, empty. It's happened to so many mothers, and Lord Radric, he's exiled all of them, calling it a sign of the gods' disfavor. She sniffs. With my Hathord gone, I don't know how I'd manage if I lost my home too. I hope Kalisha could help me. They say Ranga, the old midwife, knows a way to prevent a child being hollowborn, but she moved south to Anslog's Compass 2 seasons ago. The journey's too far for me. I can't make it as I am, but I don't have anyone else now with Kalisha gone. More tears run down her face. Please, can you help me? Wow, there were kind wayfarers and gold-packed knights. If I were a part of them, then there's something I'd be able to do, but apparently I have no idea what it is. I'll find Ranga for you. That's a long ways to go. What's in this for me? I'll think about it if I ever head that way. I'm not one for charity. Handle this yourself. I'll find Ranga for you. Don't worry. Alfra blinks, eyes wide. You will? Oh, gods bless you. Here, I'll give you coin to pay her with. You needn't trouble yourself with that. I think it's a drink she fashions out of... Oh, well, I'm not sure, but it shouldn't be too much of a burden to carry back. Gilded Vale, slight positive. You've gained 20 copper. Okay, that's cool. Although, yeah, of course, that's the copper for paying out Vanga, so it's not mine. Not mine to keep, anyway. Ansluck's compass is what we call the lagoon to the south. You'll have to cross the wilds to get there. That's what keeps me from trying it myself. She clasps her hands together. Thank you again, truly. You'll be saving us both. She sets her hand on her stomach, smiling through her tears. You know, you're handling your sister's death very, very well. End dialogue. Okay. Okay, so we got that new quest now. Now let's very quickly head on over to the inn and talk to those peasants about the miller and the wheat and the crops and all of that stuff. And then I told her, that's not the pistol. Ha ha ha. Chortling, chortling. Okay, whereabouts are we going? Did I turn off? Oh, yes, I did. Where? Ah, here. Swainer.
Gods keep you.
Gods keep you. Don't know who you are and don't much care. Keep walking. We're not here to chat with foreigners. Trumbull says you've been threatening his family. I saw you outside of the mill. What was that about? Let's say I saw you outside of the mill. What was that about? Well, someone fancied themselves a meddler, eh? What's that about? It's about Trumbull thinking he's king of the town on account of he's got the mill to his name. The dwarf jowls quiver with rage. It's about him barely giving us anything for the wheat that we bring him, and then cutting our purses when we need to buy grain. It's about the farmers going hungry while some bastard gets rich off their crops. Don't know what voice this is. That's what it's fucking about. Now shove off. It's like a cross between Scottish, American, and just ill. Just old and ill. Trumbull says you've been threatening his family. Maybe I could go talk to him for you. What are you doing in here then? What if I buy you all around where you talk to me then? What are you doing in here then? What's it looking like? Drinking till I forget how much I want to put a pitchfork through Trumbull's face. Okay, what if I buy you all around? Will you talk to me then? Swainer considers it briefly. He looks to the others. Fair enough. You bring us something to wet our throats, and might be I'll feel up to trade in words. And dialogue. Don't I already have like a bunch of ale and stuff? Yeah, I already do. So.
Good day, stranger.
Oh, okay. So apparently I need to actually buy stuff from Pasca.
Hello.
I'd like to buy a round for the fine fellows over there. Fine fellows, you're having me on. Any more fighting and I'll have to ban Swainer from the inn entirely. The innkeeper frowns. Until then, it's 6 copper pieces for the lot. Interesting. So, yeah, it definitely seems like Swainer is in the wrong. He's just the kind to pick fights. Here you are. Can't we skip the payment? It's for a good cause. Please, if I can just get them talking, I might be able to convince them to stop harassing the miller. Yeah, let's do that then. The innkeeper studies you warily a moment, then sighs. Well, all right then. Here, 3 drinks for the 3 fools. You get them off Trumble's back and maybe he'll be a little less stingy with his supplies. We got 3 beer added to inventory. Gildevale, slight positive. Cool. Let's go back.
Hail, traveler.
I've brought drinks. Hey, so you have. By the flame, I never thought I'd be so happy for a mug of the Black Hound's shit beer. Okay. Gods, that's good. The shit beer is good. All right then, you've got my attention. What is it you've got to say that's worth a round of drinks? Okay. Look, there's no sense in threatening the miller. You have him up against a wall. Maybe you could ask some of the other villagers for help. Maybe you could tell me more about what's going on. You're a drunken menace and I'm putting you down. Oh my god. Leave, goodbye. Resolve 16. I wish I had more resolve. Maybe... Okay, let's say this. Swainer eyes you for a few long moments, drinking deep from his mug. Then he sighs. Oh, that was easy. You're right. Things go on like they are. We're just going to end up hanging from that tree out there. He looks to his comrades. Tell Trumbull we'll leave him be. Party gained 46 experience from that. That was it. Oh my god, that was easy. Don't know what we'll do now with the crops failing. Haven't got another trade to speak of. Think Pasca needs a hand around the inn? Yeah, you'd like that, wouldn't you? You just drink all the ale. Report to Trumbull. Alright, back we go. Let's be off and then we will end the episode. Okay, back to the inn. Let's go. Fast mode. Come on then. I'm very aware that I don't want this episode dragging on for too much longer than an hour, so... Look at him go. I'm sure Trumbull's going to be very happy with me now.
Good day, stranger.
Good day. You're back. Have you had any luck with Sweena? I spoke to Sweena. Trouble takes a deep breath. And what did he say? I've convinced him to leave your family in peace. Wait, that's... Really? That's great news. I wasn't sure you'd get through to him. They're out of their minds with drink half the time. Probably helped. Party gained 302 experience, so we got about 400 experience from this entire quest. I owe you a great debt. Here. He pulls a coin purse from his hip and pushes it towards you. Today's earnings to show my appreciation. And you can be sure I'll let everyone know what you've done to me. Done for me, rather. Not done to me. That's a different story entirely. No, Gilded Veil, moderate positive. Glad to help. Keep it. You're having a hard enough time. That's really all you can afford after I saved your family. No, I'm not going to say that. Glad to help. Now we stand a chance of getting through the year. Trumbull smiles broadly. All thanks to you. Safe travels, friend. You've gained 20 copper. It's all about the 20 copper with these guys. Can I steal this?
Steady does it.
Grain. I have no use for grain. Plus 5 max endurance for 300 seconds. Plus 5. That's not much at all, is it? So, let's just leave. Is there anything else I can talk to him about? No. Okay, and that is going to be the end of the episode. I was wondering if we had just enough experience there to level up, but it doesn't look like it. Look, that's our experience there at the bar. So we've got a little way to go until we're both level 4, but it won't be too long. Okay, brilliant. So I think next episode we are going to go off and probably go down to the Black Meadow, maybe? I'm not sure. It depends. Probably just go down on my way to Kednoir to speak with that Watcher, Mayowold. But yeah, all of that is going to happen in the next episode. So for now, thank you very much for watching. I've been Odyssey, and I will see you next time. Bye.